Oh, sorry about that. Hello
Oh, wow.
everyone. Yeah, I did warn you, but
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I was too busy
yeah.
trying to stop coughing.
Yeah. So, welcome to episode 5 of Media Musings. This time we're talking about HP Lovecraft because the Color Out of Space recently hit wide release, though apparently not wide enough to come to my city.
So neither of us have seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't, we weren't really specifically gonna talk about the movie anyways, so it's
Yeah.
it's more like it's a good time algorithm wise to talk about Lovecraft. Or,
And when's
thematically.
not a good time to talk about Lovecraft or things Lovecraft adjacent? I mean, because
Yeah,
there's so much that's Lovecraft adjacent. He
yeah,
inspired so many people.
yeah.
His
I
dark
mean,
abyss style story writing was just
well,
the inspiration for so many things, especially in the world of computer games.
or heck, D&D is basically an
Yeah.
unholy love child between Lovecraft and Tolkien. Because I mean, seriously, look at the Illithids and
Oh, yeah,
other
definitely.
aberration. The Illithids, the Abelisks, and tell me that that's not inspired by Lovecraft.
If anyone in the chat wishes to hop in and talk about Lovecraft with us, just hit one of us up. Even if you don't want to appear on camera, but you just want to be a voice, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have a camera on for
Yeah,
StreamYard. You can just have your name up and join in the conversation if you want. Otherwise, we'll try and keep a good track of the chat so that
yeah,
people can
good.
contribute.
And hello, Danger Hissy. Oh, look, Badger's jumping back in.
Badger.
Have I unbroken it?
Yeah,
Possibly.
you're animating.
Yeah.
Hey.
You didn't miss much. We were just holding down the fort till you got back.
Yeah, just kind of introducing the topic.
It was tentacles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, tentacles.
Yeah.
There's what was the name of the cartoon that Ghastly? Does anyone remember Ghastly's Ghastly cartoons?
I haven't seen it.
He had a lot of tentacle monsters on it, and even a baby Cthulhu.
a baby Cthulhu. Okay.
Yeah, and he had a chibi kind of character who was all about the tentacle weight.
Okay.
And it was spelled that way. It was tentacle weight.
Somehow saying it like that makes it even more disturbing.
It was incredibly disturbing, but funny as all.
I suppose making it cute does make it more disturbing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's why, that's why the scary little girl is such a trope in in horror.
Yeah, baby Cthulhu. Come on, Cthulhu's kind of cute.
Yeah.
in this large monstery way that's going to eat you.
Well, in the horrifying, like, you cannot even comprehend, what Cthulhu is, because it will just break your brain kind of way. And
Hola. Hey, Hola.
Actually,
Hola, this is your topic.
So actually, it feels to me like the old ones in Cthulhu are like a lot more, a lot more. I'm not going to say accurate, but okay, well, I am going to say accurate, but I don't really mean accurate. It's just the closest word I can come to.
Yeah.
Like depictions of what I think what a deity would be. Something so incomprehensibly powerful that you'd go mad just trying to wrap your mind around it. That's
I agree
that's
with all
really
this comment
what.
in the chat.
What was that, Badger?
I agree with all this comment in the chat.
Notice me,
Notice me.
Well, that
Wallace,
one, the
hello,
other one.
my feral darling.
No, the one below that.
Cthulhu tentacle fetish, need I say more?
But,
As I said before, tentacle wape.
I just know I'm going to die trying to pet something I shouldn't.
One of Ghastly's tentacle
get that with
monsters.
badgers.
Gay.
But I'll, so basically, something so immensely immensely powerful and alien that we go mad trying to comprehend it seems to me to be a more, I'll use the word accurate for lack of a better term,
Yeah,
depiction of what an omnipotent deity would be.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the old ones are not exactly deities, though.
Well, I mean,
That's what
they're
you mean by deity,
worship.
doesn't it?
Well,
They
I
are
mean,
worship. Yeah, I guess they are, but so what? I mean, I've read Call of Cthulhu. I have seen one of the original black and white Call of Cthulhu movies.
Yeah.
I've also seen in the Mouth of Madness, although I haven't read it, and I kind of wish I had.
Yeah, I that's on my list to read if I can find a good if I can find a decently priced copy.
Hi, Daily Atheist. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah. And since Lovecraft actually did a lot of his writings before 1920, I'm going to go ahead and shill Project Gutenberg again because there are some of Lovecraft's stories on the site.
Cool.
Interesting.
Oh, awesome!
Okay, yeah, I'll get you the I'll get you the link, Hissy. That is, if I
Oh my.
let's see.
Oh, this is gonna be light when you put Marrow and Notcher in a stream. It's all gonna end up all about cheesecakes, isn't it?
No, just read the next comment down in the chat. No, not the next one down. A few further down.
The pets just.
Oh my.
Pets, as in she's petting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book name again. In the Mouth of Madness.
Mouth of Madness, yes.
Mouth of Madness. Yeah. Is the book actually the same? The book is the Mouth of Madness, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I thought it wasn't. I thought it was the Mounts of Madness.
Mounts of Madness. Sorry.
Yeah, because
sorry, you might be right. It might be Mounts. It's been a while since I've seen them.
Yeah, because it's about an expedition to a mountain range in Antarctica.
I think you're right. Yes. Mounts of Madness. It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah. Though I have read I haven't actually read a lot of Lovecraft because it's kind of it's kind of difficult to actually get a hold of.
Yeah. It's also kind of intense to read.
Yeah. But I did actually read the Dunwich Horror.
Do you remember the whole thing when they first recorded the bloop noise?
I've heard about the bloop, but that may have been before I was born.
Okay. I can't remember the date of when it was. No, it possibly was before you were born, considering I think I was in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born in 91, so
yeah. So it was before you were born. I'd have to look it up actually when it was, but the thing about it they know what caused it now.
Yeah.
But at the time, no idea what this sound was. It was a lot deeper than any whale noises and traveled an immense distance in the oceans. And when they triangulated the point it originated from, it was pretty close to where Cthulhu was meant to be.
So I was like wasn't the Wasn't the bloop like an underwater earthquake or something?
Yeah, there's two different causes of these. One of them can be icebergs when they break up and then they shift past each other, and if they do it slow enough, that's the kind of sound they make. And the other one is it's a certain type of underwater earthquake that causes the sound. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time they had no idea what it was. So so of course all these people go, it's Cthulhu.
But so I did read the.
It's gonna bug me. When was it? I'm sure I was in high school when Bloop happened. I'm gonna look it up whilst you continue.
Yeah, fair enough. So I'm gonna describe the plot of a story, and you'll try and let's see if anyone can guess what story I'm describing. So, a virgin woman is impregnated by an other dimensional, highly powerful being.
This is going badly already.
In order to give birth to someone who will help bridge the gap between between our world / our race and that being.
Sounds something a bit Lovecraftian there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
So,
okay, 1997. Actually, you were born. Sorry, I was studying. I was at TAFE at the time.
So, anyways, what I was kind of getting at was, there are a lot of plot similarities in, well, not exactly in execution, but at least in the broad theme of things between the nativity story and the Dunwich Horror.
Oh,
but
fascinating.
Yeah, it it turns out that like.
So you're suggesting Lovecraft was plagiarized?
So I'm not sure how to read into the parallels. Either he was taking he is taking the parallels and twisting them for the horror effect, because that's a good way to evoke horror, is take something your audience would be familiar with and then turn it off kilter.
Yeah.
Or if he was legitimately trying to say something about Christianity and how horrific it could sound. And hey, heathen. Hey, blue collar heathen.
Yeah, blue collar heathen.
Hello. I just wanted to say something, and I forgot what it was. Oh, that was it. Yeah, it's my main sort of comment on Lovecraftian stories is the artwork surrounding them is both fascinating and horrifying in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
For example.
Yeah, it's just it's yeah. I don't know whether it's so. Yeah, maybe horrifying when you first see them, but when you've played a lot of, say, Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that, it's not so much.
That is altogether too many mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
how do I make this stop? There we go.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Good thing I waited for you to do it, or else you might have ended up accidentally getting kicked.
That's never happened before.
Shut up. I had a bad night last night.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
This is metal AF.
Yeah. I mean, in the completely and totally horrifying way, but yeah.
Here's the name we prepared earlier.
Oh, Orla.
Orla, come on, join us, Orla.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, literally, the plot of the Dunwich Horror is the daughter of this old, hillbilly living in the outskirts of Dunwich.
Hillbilly.
Hello, Hissy.
Living in the out.
Hi, Hissy.
I've lost the stream.
Hang on.
Yeah, okay.
Problem is, then you also find actual creatures that are disturbingly reminiscent of Lovecraftian monstrosities.
See, that's just cute to me.
Everything is cute to you.
So you just want one?
It's a Kinderdoodle, look at it! I want to
It's a
buff it!
snack.
It's a snack!
It's a water snack.
Yeah, what a snack.
With a horrifying set of teeth.
But
so Orla, your sex drive is in the stratosphere, so you wouldn't actually mind a bit of tentacle.
but so anyways, the daughter of this old hillbilly witch doctory dude gets impregnated mysteriously and gives birth to this boy that starts growing strangely fast, maturing strangely fast. And it and there's something else about the house, because they start making renovations to the house, and first they build this shed and keep it boarded up, and they start buying cows, and all the cows start looking sick. And then they, make renovations to the house by knocking out all the walls on the top floor and building a ramp up to the second floor. And suddenly the shed is, cleaned out and being used. And so, it goes through these weird goings on while this kid is, maturing. And he's sent on a mission from his, as his grandfather's dying, to find the Necronomicon and to find a complete copy of the Necronomicon to get a certain passage to help bridge the gap between between our world and the great dark outside too. And but he dies, and he gets attacked by a dog and dies, and it turns out that he wasn't exactly human. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah.
I appreciate that it's just he gets attacked by a dog and dies.
Yeah.
There's no supernatural massive thing to his death. It's just a dog killed him.
Well, yeah. So,
yeah.
well, and it's, and it's very much, and it's somewhat foreshadowed because it is described that as the kid grows, that dogs don't like him. But when he dies, it's discovered that he wasn't exactly human. He was half elder thing. And
So who did his mum have the naughty with?
Yob Shinigaroth or something like that.
What? Are you okay? Say the word again, slowly.
One of those ones with the funny names.
Yeah.
It's Greek to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Did it not occur to anyone that dogs are always right and know things
Yeah.
at any point before the end of this story?
Yeah. But
I found some things for you there.
Ooh.
but so though
That one's
Okay.
more for Orla.
and that's enough of
There's,
that. We don't want
there's
to be.
more.
But wait, there's more.
Always more.
Yeah. So there's no
Ooh.
way in hell that this is ever getting monetized.
Did you just Google tentacle porn?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it looks like it.
no.
Because if you did, you are my absolute hero.
These are the safe
But-
versions.
Oh God. But it turns out that the the young Whately boy was a twin, and the horrific thing that they were keeping hidden, that was growing much faster than he was. It breaks loose, and it's this invisible monster that, and I quote the book, looked a lot more like its father than
I've lost the stream. Oh, there it is.
I just in case, because seeing as you're sharing pictures, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you something here. I am going to show you, for those who prefer to read their tentacle porn rather than look at it. Yeah. This is an option for you.
Is that?
It's called Archive of Our Own. It's all fan fiction and it's all free. So have at it. Have fun.
Yeah. 5,632
And that's just the English language ones.
for tentacle porn.
Is that linked to Torchwood? Does that say?
Yeah, that top one is a Torchwood fan fiction.
Who's in that one? Because I've got a feeling that Captain Jack will be into it.
Yeah.
I think that's canon, to be fair. Let's have a look. It was only a little tentacle. Evan's never going to invite me on his stream again.
Well, I mean, yeah, but unfortunately you're already invited for next week when we're talking about Harry Potter.
There's one here, Sam Winchester and the Tentacle Monster. If Supernatural's your fandom,
So I may not allow you to share screen anymore.
I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Just, if you're into your porn, you should have options.
Yeah, though, I mean, it is, I guess I did kind of ask for this because we are talking Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I asked if you wanted me to come in. You know what I'm like.
He married me. He knows exactly what I'm like.
That's
Okay.
Ghastly Comics.
Yeah.
So Lovecraft.
Yeah.
There's a twin we got to.
Yeah, so there's this giant eldritch abomination thing that is revealed to be the twin brother of the kid. And of course, since the kid is no longer there to feed it, and everybody else had already died at that point everybody else in the family had died at that point of the story. It breaks out of the house and goes on a rampage.
Mm.
and then is like the professor who kind of uncovers all of this, like prepares a magic powder that lets people see, that lets it be able to be seen so that they could fight it, and then like banishes it with a magic spell.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we agree with you, Dave. We have no idea why Orla's not with us.
Yeah.
With Orla's permission, I could share the reason she said to me.
And of course, if you, and of course, there is the requisite someone, looking on it and just falling into instant madness. Yeah, and yeah, it is safe to look, at least for now.
Is it? I'll need to fix that. Give me a sec.
She feels like she needs to give us a safe word.
Do we not have a safe word? I feel like this is like, come on, Rick. You have a duty as the host here. What are you doing?
We've overlooked something here.
Yeah.
We seem to be lacking a safe word.
Yeah, I mean, I should have realized that, talking about Lovecraft would probably need a safe word. Let's
Safe.
see, racism?
No, that's not safe.
Yeah. But it is thematic.
He's only a little bit racist.
Oh, yeah.
Banana.
Yeah.
Tentacle. There you go.
No,
I
don't think that's-
no, that's a
I don't
word we
think-
are likely to say during this.
Yeah, that is very much.
That's going to give us some issues.
I mean, on the theme of racism, we could always use Caliban as a safe word. It's in the same thematic line.
Caliban. Yeah, I'm fine with Caliban.
Caliban.
I don't even know what it is.
From the
The
Tempest, I believe. Shakespeare.
He was the powerful lord's servant who was described basically in horrendously animalistic terms, basically because the best academics reckon he was probably black.
Oh, okay.
Hey, blue collar heathen.
Hey,
everybody.
Hey.
How y'all
How
doing?
is ya?
Doing all right?
Good.
So
we're talking the themes in the works of Lovecraft.
Hold on, I'm getting both audio streams from YouTube and StreamYard, and it's kind of tripping me out. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, here I am.
Yeah, we're discussing the themes in the works of HP Lovecraft.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of tentacles so far.
Yeah.
And we have thoroughly explored how fragile sanity can be.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel
I
like we've
mean,
got that covered as well.
Have we though? I mean, we haven't got insane yet. We're still working on that.
We've definitely given potential examples of a way to go down that path.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, that was a big thing with him. Madness, degeneration.
What man was not supposed to know.
Sex.
Yeah. I mean,
We've definitely
just
covered
the opening of
Yes,
Call of
definitely did a lot of
Cthulhu.
sex.
That's like, there you go. I mean, there's his whole philosophy on that in a
Well-
freaking nutshell, right?
Oh yeah, and actually the in the Dunwich Horror, as the professor is unraveling the sordid details of the Whately house,
Mm.
it is taking a very visible toll on his sanity. Like he's not being able to sleep at all.
Yeah. That was kind of the thing. That was a common theme of many horror stories at the time too. It wasn't just him. I mean, it was a lot of the Clark Ashton Smith stories that he was a contemporary. Came out. Would have the main character losing their shit by the end of it. If you look into some of the Mockin and all that crap, I mean, That's pretty common, the losing the mind, particularly at the time.
Yeah. And about how, like, dealing with, like, how the unknown and strange is just inherently scary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote a whole essay on that, didn't he?
And, I mean...
supernatural horror in literature, where he breaks
Yeah.
it down. That's like, that was one of the openings of that, the strangest, or what was it? The oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown.
And I mean, there's a lot of it's likely a very big reason about why so much of his imagery comes from deep sea creatures.
Deep sea and outer space, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, or both kind of simultaneously. If you want to go into that, I mean, he used that, where he's trying to describe sunken Ryla, and with the non-Euclidean geometry and that kind of stuff. So he always does try to make an element of the weird, something that you can almost relate to, and tries to get the reader to live in that creepy valley of weirdness.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, he did describe himself as not having the constitution for math, so it does realize, it does. It explains why he'd be so freaked out by non-Euclidean geometry, even though that's what geometry is like in the real world.
Right.
Well, maths is scary.
Yeah.
Your numbers are scary.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Nothing scary.
I've seen them eat each other,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you hear that 7, 8, 9?
Yeah.
Though, and of course, it's time to address the racist elephant in the room. We're talking about the fear of the other, and the fact that any character that isn't a well-bred New England white person is either a cultist or like somehow involved with the horrific goings on.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of his I'm going to say he's very focused on inherited guilt. So he's got this concept of basically bloodline feuds and bloodline guilt. And if he's saying that you said it yourself, well-bred New England, what does well-bred actually mean? So he's taking that and he's saying, well, these are people who have no guilt in that bloodline. I'm not justifying it, I'm just explaining it. Just putting that out there.
Well, some of my fur is white, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe in 10 years my hair will start to go grey.
I don't know that.
So do you think
it was any more or worse, really, than anybody else in his demographic at that time?
Oh yeah, I mean, the
inherent racism in his work is definitely there. I mean, just
you could argue.
Yeah,
you could argue that because it's there.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's definitely there. But was he any more racist or bigoted than, how far off of that 50th percentile really was he? When you look at everything else, I mean, have you seen some of the Disney, the early Disney shit?
Well, given the fact he was from himself, it's hardly surprising his ideals.
You could argue that because it's in there, it makes his works even more horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely say he's a product of his time,
Yes.
You can definitely say that unequivocally. Unquestionably. I can't say that word.
Unequivocally. Right.
That's the word.
Right? Am I doing that right?
Yeah.
Between the five of us, somebody should be able to pronounce the damn word.
Yeah, between us.
Unequivocally.
I'm not even attempting.
But I think when you look at 50th
Unequivocally?
percentile, you have to
Is
look
that
in the
it?
context. I mean, looking just totally going off Lovecraft for a minute because I can relate anything to Harry Potter given half a chance. If you look at J.K. Rowling and her depiction of her goblins in the Harry Potter series, is that within a reasonable percentile of what we would consider "quote unquote" acceptable anti-Semitism or acceptable anti-Semitic tropes in modern literature?
Oh, and then
So you have to judge him on his context, and I think you have to allow for the fact that he's a fantasy writer and a horror writer.
Yeah.
I don't think that excuses it, though. I mean,
It doesn't, but it does explain a lot of it.
I think you can explain people's actions, but you don't have to excuse them. I mean,
never.
You can explain J.K. Rowling's attitude because the area she grew up in and the fact that she was already upper middle class before she started even writing, and she's just a product of her upbringing, basically. But that doesn't excuse the fact that she's transphobic, homophobic, and a fucking bigot. In general.
This is why I like to stick to Star Wars as a fictional universe where there is no anti-Semitism whatsoever. There's no sign of it anywhere in. Ah, shit! You had to show that, didn't you, Ray?
Wow.
But it is just all literature, all writing art of any form is a product of its time and a product of its creator. And
horror and more prominently than most, because horror very much is written to reflect and explore the fears of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what you usually see, right? Like when shit's going bad, like
for the last
the one good thing that I could say about the current resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is that oh my God, the punk and horror freaking stuff that's going to come out as a result of that administration is going to be fucking awesome.
Have you all seen the picture that he posted?
You mean the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? No, I haven't seen anything he posted because I've had that son of a bitch blocked since Moby Dick was a minute.
Of himself, and he's sort of looking over his shoulder back at the camera, and his face is all orange around here, except for a tiny little strip all the way up and around that is baby butt white.
Oh, and here, I thought you were talking about the creepy one with him kissing the fetus.
No, this is he posted this picture. It is it just shows that his tan's completely sprayed on.
See, I just typed in Trumpkin, and that's what we got.
Trumpkin. There's a Lovecraft horror if ever there was.
Well,
I meant the real Trump, not that.
It's a good thing a certain nifty pastor isn't watching this, because that may be somewhat provocative for him. But we just don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to get try not to show that on the screen too long. I don't want to see him start engaging in his man-vegetable love. I mean, if that's what he's into, I'm okay with that. It's just that's something I need to see before I try to go to bed tonight or today or whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah. Hey, Bull.
Hey.
Bull, what's up, Bull?
Yeah. Oh, all of that comment there. I'm just going to read this out because I don't know how to make it appear on the screen.
Which one?
You cannot really judge.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, only the person hosting can put it on the
Yeah.
screen.
Totally 100% agree.
Yeah.
Can't see it.
No, I 100% agree too. But you do have to take everything into context. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to condemn those ways of thinking in the past.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, you can hold them accountable. I mean, I don't think anybody here is trying to be a ST Yoshi and trying to excuse the shit.
I recognize that is a thing. It was not that great, but also it was a product of the time, and you can learn from it.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree.
Exactly. I mean, there was a purge. They took them off the awards and all this stuff that they didn't want that. And I mean, if that is, if the mindset has changed where you don't want HPL to be representative of that award, the excellence of in literature, then fine, but the whole purging bit with him, I didn't exactly agree with. It was like, well, he was racist, so we can't have it on here. But none of the writers that I ever talked to really liked answering this question in public forum, so fuck them.
Well, it's the same thing as what
if he wasn't racist, if Lovecraft wasn't a bigoted, racist prick, would those stories have been as good? I would say
they would have never been written.
Yeah.
That's what he tapped into, the fear of the other, and all of that. That's what he tapped into to generate those stories. If he wasn't a racist prick, would Her West Reanimator, would that be as satisfying of a read? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. Would Pickman's model be half as terrifying as it was? No. I mean, that it all feeds into that. That's where he drew that from.
Yeah, though I will say things, some things don't age very well because they're, it's stuff that we've moved past the fear of, kind of. Like, for instance, like, for instance, Cold Air.
You know what? I still think Cold Air is a great story.
Yeah.
But I will agree that some things don't age very well. I mean, Heart of Darkness, the John Conrad. That's
no worries, Tiffany.
But anyways, the talk about timely relevance reminded me of the Warner Brothers disclaimer, which I threw up on the screen.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and stop sharing that.
Tiffany, that isn't what I'm saying. I'm not saying that a work has to be racist to be good.
I put something else for you in the.
That's not what I'm saying at all, Tiffany. And if that was the takeaway of what you got from that, I am sorry, because that is not what I meant. I'm saying that if Lovecraft did not have that racism, he would not have had the stories that he had. And
doesn't mean we wouldn't have had good stories, though.
It doesn't mean that we wouldn't have had good stories, but it does mean, what I am saying is that he used that, that to him was horrifying.
Yeah.
And the horror writer is going to be, is going to tap into what they personally find horrifying to engage the reader emotionally. And that's how they do it.
Yeah.
I think as well we have to be careful. Sorry.
No, it's just when you look at I'm going to pick on my buddy Brian. If anybody's read any of Brian Keene's novels, I mean, losing his son, cancer, these are things that I know for a fact scare the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
he lives right across the river. We hang out on pretty weekly basis. I know what scares him. So when I see these things pop up in his work, that is kind of what fuels it. And that with Lovecraft, his are going to be the same thing. Now the racism is going to be easier to identify, 90, 100 years on.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, I'll shut up.
I wanted to add on to that. I think we do have to be careful about criticising historical texts and documents, because I think it would be well beyond us to understand what is going to be acceptable in 100 years and what we're producing now and what's being produced now.
Oh,
that's going to be criticised, and we do have to understand that what is acceptable changes in a society.
Well, I mean,
we might have something that is we consider absolutely horrendous, abominable, anything like that. But in 100 years, it's perfectly acceptable because there's been some advance in science or technology or something else that makes it acceptable, and we cannot possibly know what that's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even in our lifetimes, I mean, what is acceptable now that people could put on a TV show, for example, is not the same as what they could have done 10, 15 years ago.
The first lesbian kiss on Hollyoaks in the UK was a big news less than 20 years ago. And now it's acceptable.
I mean, let's bring up our favorite transphobe, Glenna. And is IT crowd totally a vehicle for his transphobia? Now he got away with that because he was a well-known writer, and it was what 12 years ago now. If they tried to do that now, no television station would put it on because it would be blatant.
And sometime soon, we'll probably have to talk about my my favorite example when it comes to problematic authors, Heinlein.
Oh, Robert A.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been lots of problematic authors. I've said this many times. You can have people who have some horrible ideas in and of themselves, and that to a certain extent you have to be able to separate from whatever they create. Because I mean, I'm not a believer in burning books, even if they're bloody horrible. I mean, I would never suggest that we should get all the copies of Mein Kampf around the world and burn them just because Hitler wrote them. That is ridiculous.
As a historian, even the thought of that sends a cold shot of dread down my spine.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you.
I'm a great believer in any art form or anything that's being produced shouldn't be destroyed, because you can learn just as much from good art, proper art, decent art that is actually politically correct as you can from the most problematic, horrendous, terrible, My Immortal level fan fiction art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we have
different lessons that you learn.
So I can bring up an example of art destruction here. Rolf Harris. You guys all know Rolfie with the yew tree, and he's an Australian, so it's embarrassment for us over here as well.
Is that?
In Bassendean, where he was born and grew up and everything, when he was really only known in Australia, a local hardware store got him to paint a mural on their wall in the shop. When he was first arrested by Project Yew Tree, so he was only charged, he was not found guilty, they had painters come in and paint over the top of that mural.
That's beyond the pale. I cannot agree with that.
I agree with you. I understand that they didn't want to have this seen by people to like they were endorsing Rolf. And I get that. But there's things you could have done that wouldn't have destroyed that art.
Mhm.
And I think it's disgusting that they did it. Now, that's not saying that I agree with anything that Rolf did, because I certainly bloody don't. But the man was still an artist, and
The art stands on its own merit.
so, yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
that's
It's essentially the application of Barthes' Death of the Author, but to artwork as well. And
Yeah,
I
if
don't
we're
see
gonna
why we
start
can't
doing
do that.
this-
That's basic common sense.
I had an argument on Twitter with a
An argument on Twitter? Huh.
yeah, I funny how these things happen to me all the time.
I've never
This
had
was
an
a while
argument.
ago. This was with a philosophy.
Just a sec, while I have
professor.
someone on Twitter.
This is with a philosophy professor, because she was arguing that nobody should be taught about Newton because Newton was an asshole, basically.
Good luck explaining gravity to anyone without teaching them about Newton. Basic scientific concept.
Newton's stuff doesn't matter because it's all superseded by Einstein. No, Newton does matter. His work does matter because it was the progression of that knowledge, and it is not wrong.
It actually, and actually in an earthly, frame of reference, in a strictly local frame of reference, Newtonian physics works just as good, for everyday science.
Newton is the foundation Einstein stands on. So you have to have a basic
understanding of it.
Knowledge
yes, you do. I agree.
Newton before you can go to Einstein.
And you can't go and teach relativity to high school students, but you can teach Newtonian physics to high school students, and that gives you your grounding. So, and I argued with her, and she blocked me. I told her that she was I told her she was a fucking Luddite.
But
that's like handing someone War and Peace before you teach them to read.
But
it's ridiculous. A ridiculous concept. So it was for the same thing. It was a erasure of somebody she didn't like, and I don't agree with this. These people still stood in history. How do we learn the mistakes of history if we don't learn about these things?
Yeah.
Can I have that on a T-shirt or a mug, please?
Yeah.
I mean, you could still, have it there and, just keep it as a footnote of wrongness.
Everyone knows the quote of those who don't know history doomed to repeat it. The problem is that those of us who do know history are doomed to watch everyone else repeat it.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
And when it comes to problematic works of art and literature, I don't think they should be destroyed, but I do think that there should be disclaimers.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Or, say that, this was a product of its time. It explores, it does carry certain racist themes or, racist, sexist, etc. themes, as applicable. Be advised.
Yeah, and like I think
Yeah.
it was Missy that was saying, I mean, there could be shit that we're doing now, just sitting here in this chat, which, 37 and a half years from now, the title of the error that we're all unknowingly committing will be invented and become, the social norm, and we could be looking back on this and being horrified and have no idea that we're doing whatever faux pas of, future faux pas there is.
Yeah.
You did a free pull.
I think there is an example of what Ring was saying. So I am going to give you a real life example of this. One Sunday afternoon, I had my television on, and those sort of high number channels that show old movies and things. They were showing out of Africa, I think it was. And there was this massive disclaimer right at the start, audio and written on the screen, of this film is based in a slave plantation, therefore it is a product of its time and represents social mores relevant to that. So that came on, that was fine, fair enough, yeah? But then the next film on the same channel was Gladiator, and there was no warning about gore or anything.
Yeah.
So it's
It does
think it's
show
important
some
to
consistency,
recognize.
doesn't it?
In what I think we go through phases with this stuff. Everybody pretty much agrees that the barbaricism of things like having gladiators fight each other to the death and everything was wrong.
Yeah.
And we're at the point now where we can look back and they silly people in the history. But racism and slavery and things like that are still too raw, still too new, still happening.
Yeah, and also I
So
think
we
in
have
terms of
violence is too,
depictions of depictions of violence and such, I think especially in regards to film, people feel that there's already a rating system for that, and that's trigger warning enough. That's warning enough.
fair enough. But Sunday afternoon TV doesn't tell you the rating of the film before it starts it.
Fair enough.
Doesn't it though in the listings?
It
Don't they
does in
have
the
a TV?
listings, but if you're just watching the channel, it's not going to say this film is rated 18 at the start of it or whatever it is.
No, like
yeah.
okay. Well,
Don't they
I
do
would
that
think
in
that when
the
you would
UK?
switch to the
Don't you
channel, I
have
thought it gave
ratings
like a little
for
bit
shows in the
on
UK?
that.
Sorry, say that again, Jen.
Don't you have ratings before shows on television in the UK?
So what will happen is that on the listings itself, as you scroll through, it will tell you the rating,
Right.
Yeah.
the basic information. If there's a specific content or trigger warning, epilepsy warning, things like that, it will be at the start. But it doesn't come up like in the cinema where it says this film is an 18
Oh,
or
it
12.
does
or
here.
18.
No,
Oh,
it does
doesn't
here.
here.
If you have anything that's above PG, even PG, if it's in a time slot where younger kids might actually watch it, anything above PG will always have a warning, even for a normal show.
They just put it on after the watershed in the UK.
Yeah, they would just put it on after the watershed if it was that bad.
Yeah, no, you put the warnings up. Yeah, we still have a similar watershed thing here, but you still put the rating up, so you'll get the following program is It'll have a voiceover too. Following program is rated MA. It's for mature audiences only. It contains blah 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 blah, whatever it is.
Yeah,
whatever
that only ever happens if it's something massively.
Everything.
That needs
Everything.
it here.
Yeah, like depictions from like actual footage of the gas chambers or a video of somebody's dog.
Although, to be fair, if you're watching the Yesterday channel and it's about the war, you kind of accept that you're going to see something about gas chambers. You know what you're getting into with that.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah,
even like Doctor Who has a PG rating before it's on, with what you need to be
Doctor
aware
Who's
of.
only rated PG in Australia.
Yeah, it's only rated PG.
Even
See,
after
that's why I
Stephen
prefer
Moffat
to
took
Sure,
over.
you know.
Even after Moffat took over.
Yeah, even after Moffat.
Oh, I just rated it crap after Moffat took over.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
there is
no.
that.
No.
That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, no. Doctor Who
Yeah.
one night.
Yeah, Rain, we need one of these for Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, but we do have potentially a special guest that we need to actually schedule that with. So there's that.
Oh, who do you know? Oh.
No, it's who you know, who you tweeted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had this discussion. I'm too
Yeah.
sleepy.
But Lovecraft,
I'm going to
though.
grab something.
Yeah, Lovecraft.
I defer to the Badger.
Which one?
Okay, all right, fair.
This one.
The Badger and the Smart Coat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I have one of those, Jen. I have
Yeah.
I have a soft one that you squeeze and it makes the noise.
Mine's a cookie jar. Yeah, it needs a new battery. That's the only thing. So it doesn't make the noise at the moment. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I hear it.
Yeah. Did yours flash the light as well?
Yeah, the light on top flashes.
Yeah, same with this one.
So, anyways,
So Lovecraft, though.
It's all
yeah,
Lovecraft.
back to Lovecraft and the Fear of the Unknown.
I think the whole fear of the unknown part is quite essential to the horror of Lovecraft.
Yes.
Which is why all the monsters and eldritch deities and such
Yeah.
exist outside of the comprehension of humanity, because the idea is to instill the horrific idea in people's heads that all of this stuff that we don't know is inherently dangerous and horrifying.
Oh yeah. Which could arguably be technically worse than the racism, technically. Because fear, it seems that fear, learning new things and having new experiences is more dangerous because it keeps you from addressing your own prejudices.
It's racism, but applied to everything.
Yeah.
Are we still talking racism?
No, we're trying to move on
general.
to the rest of the horror.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about.
If the unknown is inherently horrifying, no one has any incentive to explore it or learn about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like writing "Hey Be Dragons" on an old map.
Yeah.
So nobody goes there and finds it's actually an island with some lovely people on it.
Yeah.
Why does there seem to be this insistence on only recording Cthulhu movies in black and white?
I think the Color Out of Space was done in color.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about Call of Cthulhu.
I don't think they'd be able to make a good Lovecraft film these days, because it would all be CGI monsters everywhere and wouldn't be horrifying at all.
I'm going to reserve my judgment, but I have seen good things about the Color Out of Space, actually.
What's it called?
It just had a wide release like about a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I forgot they had him in it.
Yeah.
That kind of ruins it a little bit.
Oh, Nicolas Cage is a great actor.
He thinks so.
Absolutely, Bull.
I mean,
he can be a good actor.
There's an argument that the reason they film Cthulhu films, etc., in black and white is the same reason Spielberg filmed Schindler's List in black and white. It's because colour no longer distracts, and therefore when it's black and white, you pay more attention as a modern viewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the splashes of colour that are there are inherently more obvious to you, and there's a lot you can play with light and sound when you're in black and white that you just can't with colour.
It's a lot easier to do stuff with lighting in black and white than it is to do in color.
Also, you can have blood without having to buy expensive red blood.
Yeah, you can just use any old thing as long as it's dark.
Just tip some honey down someone, it looks like they're bleeding.
Yeah. So it could be a wholly stylistic choice. I sincerely doubt it is, but it could be there are stylistic reasons for it.
Yeah. Or like there's a reason that I shot the thumbnail in a weird filter to kind of just. I'm actually fairly proud of that thumbnail, actually. I'm talking about the one for this specific video.
The video, yeah, I know. I saw it.
Yeah, I've just found this is about Schindler's List, but I think it does apply to film, especially horror films in black and white. When Spielberg said it was life without light. For me, the symbol of life is colour. That's why a film with such horrendous themes of the Holocaust, etc., has to be in black and white, which I think you can apply to something like Cthulhu.
Yeah. And of course,
Yeah. The warnings aren't really for adults, though. They're for kids, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they're for the adults to make sure.
Well,
that
and
Well,
also
the warnings are for lawyers.
Mm.
oh, that's true too.
I mean,
but it does seem to me that you would have to, like, especially when it comes to Lovecraftian horror, you do have to do a lot with lighting to set the mood, and that is arguably easier to do in black and white.
Yeah, I think that was one of the arguments made about it, but regardless of that, I really just like to see a properly well done version of Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. There were talks of Guillermo del Toro doing The Mountains of Madness.
Yeah, that
Again.
project's been going on for a decade and a half or so.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's like stuck in developmental hell. But
The original
Yeah.
movie is really good, though.
Well, I mean what's the other one? No, I'm sorry, that isn't Lovecraft himself, but the Tomb, F. Paul Wilson, has been stuck in the same type of thing, the developmental hell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's definitely has some Lovecraftian elements to it, the Rakoshi or whatever. Rakoshi.
yeah. Ouch!
All
Oh,
right, that hurt.
that
hurt.
could have used the warning. That could have used the warning there. Badger.
Well done.
It's the latest Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God. I cannot
called,
unsee that.
It's called Naily Boy or something. I don't know.
But and also that could be, or since Lovecraft delves so deeply into the themes of the fear of the unknown and the fear of the unknowable,
Mhm.
it could explain why it's very difficult to translate Lovecraft into film.
Yeah, but difficult works to translate to film, are just difficult. They're certainly not impossible.
Yeah.
Cronenberg made Naked Lunch a fucking movie.
And I mean, the Lord of the Rings was touted as being impossible to film, and then Peter Jackson came along and just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, you just need someone that can do it. I think
Look what happened to
honestly,
The
one of
Hobbit.
the things that really holds up Lovecraftian works from translation to film, where they could reach a wider audience, is that Lovecraft couldn't write dialogue to save his fucking life.
Yeah.
There is that.
His dialogue was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
There's also the problem that
And also,
horror
it's
is
a
kind
lot of
a
the horror
genre.
is. Oh, sorry, Badger.
That's all right. Horror is kind of a niche genre. There's not like a huge mass appeal for horror films.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Not good horror films that are actually horrifying.
And
Right.
I
And
guess that's why we more get interpretations of Lovecraft rather than actual Lovecraft.
yeah,
The
and
mainstream sees Lovecraft as fun tentacle monsters that appear in steampunk things, whereas Lovecraft is not that.
yeah,
But
the thing about Lovecraft as well is he does rely on his reader's imagination to fill in the gaps of what these eldritch beings are like.
oh yeah,
Yes.
And film makes that very difficult to do because you have to show a lot of things.
Especially
And
with the
there's nothing scarier to a person than what their own imagination creates.
yeah.
Sometimes.
A lot of Lovecraft's descriptions. Yeah. Anyway,
That's a great new word.
Depictions.
Depiction.
yeah, a lot of Lovecraft's descriptions are very, very purposefully vague.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But the other thing, I mean, with his writing style, being as he's trying to make himself sound, even for his time, he's trying to make himself sound like he's writing 60 or 70 years in the past.
Yeah.
That complicates things a little further, I would think.
Yeah.
I think Ola wants you to order a one badger.
I could have gone my life without seeing that badger.
What's that? Sorry?
I said I could have gone my life without seeing that.
You could have, but I made sure that you didn't, and you're all better for it.
Honestly, I'm quite happy right now because I looked away from my screen and
don't
didn't see
quite
it.
know about the end of that badger. I don't know that we're all better for it. We're definitely fundamentally different, but I don't know about better.
Well, you see, yeah.
I was like, no, please do. I want to hear what this rationalization is going to be because if you could come out of that would be freaking epic.
All right. Now that you know that stuff like that exists, you can all be safe in the knowledge that you have a better understanding of the minds of very disturbed people.
Or
what does in the bedroom.
or to bring this back to Lovecraft, because we know something like that exists. We are cursed with that knowledge to go mad.
It can't be unknown.
Yeah, that is.
Yep, that is no longer part of the disassociated knowledge.
Yeah.
Existing out in here, and it is now part of the sciences that can herefor to harm us a smidge more.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
And that very much is the moral of Lovecraft.
Yeah. But he did do some interesting work with Houdini, so I mean he had to have some drive to know, to understand. I mean, he wouldn't be he wouldn't be doing shit like that, with Houdini for it if he wasn't.
Yeah, but Houdini traded on people's wonder and on their willingness to accept that they didn't know and their willingness not to try and find out.
Sorry. Hit me with that again, please.
Well, Houdini traded on people's willingness not to try and find out how things were done. That was Houdini's whole thing.
Well, yeah, that was his act, but Houdini's debunking of spiritualism and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was the impetus for Randy to do so later on. So, his act was, I'm going to bullshit you, with the escape thing and all that. But I mean, that wasn't because he knew that. Just think of the Penn and Teller bits that they're doing now. I mean, same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough.
What they say is that knowledge is power, and you are now more powerful in the knowledge that it.
Are you still trying it?
The power I have gained is that I know not to go back and rewatch this live stream to see what you're all talking about.
It's all right. I can get it back.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Now that I know better, I am not going to let you share that. I have learned my lesson, Badger.
He'll do it on his own stream instead.
See, now Ring, you are more powerful because you know not to let him share his screen.
Yeah.
He'll sneak it in at some point. He'll show you some other pit. No, shut up. Don't give him ideas.
Don't give him ideas, Jen.
Knowledge is power, Jen.
Yes, knowledge is power, and power corrupts, which means I don't want to know because absolute power
we
corrupts.
don't need to know how corrupt Badger is. I might have to dump on you guys because I am falling asleep.
Well, I think we fairly well talked this topic out.
Yes, because we've moved on to other things.
Just look at me. I'm lovely.
What are you? Oh, okay.
That is actually wholesome.
That is
actually
adorable.
that is wholesome content right there.
That is.
Hold on. Leave it on the screen. I'm just gonna bop it. Hold on. Bop.
And
So-
on that lovely note.
Yeah, so on that lovely note, let's go ahead and start chilling. Blue collar heathen, you go first.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for letting me jump in. Sorry I was a little late. Reason I was a little late is because I was trying to edit down a new video that I hope to have up Monday or Tuesday. One of those days, whatever those days mean to you. Beginning of the week, that's where I hope to have it up. I have a YouTube channel, Blue Collar Heathen, and I'm on Twitter at BCH Vids, where I argue with people.
Yeah.
And
You missed out on the really good one today, though.
Are we gonna get more Nick the Messiah?
Interestingly enough, Nick Fowler, the Messiah, Christ Fowler seems to have gone dark after that last video that I released. But he has multiple YouTube channels. So the one that I was following to get just to see the cringe, was. That one is gone. Now, I don't know that if it's been deleted or if I'm just perhaps blocked, but I can't get there. And, other people that I've seen, haven't been able to get there either. So Nick Fowler, the Messiah, Christ Fowler may have gone away for now, but I feel like he's like, I don't want to liken him to a, venereal disease. Oh, fuck it, I already did. But I think he'll probably come back.
Who knows? Maybe he's just trying to dodge trespassing charges.
Oh.
I mean, it does get legally curious because if he's trying to get money in the place where he lives, I'm pretty extra special sure that to try to get money while wearing the trappings of the office of the clergy where he lives is actually a crime. So if he's trying to get money from his YouTube by wandering around other people's churches because he's not ordained, wearing the priest collar and everything, if he's trying to get money from YouTube, that could get legally interesting for him. But I don't think he likes me very much. I'm pretty extra special sure I'm off his Christmas card list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's and I don't want to turn it into the Nick Fowler, the Messiah channel. Yeah. I'd rather go back and revisit Blue Collar Catholic, and he was at least interesting, and took what I said, and we had a little bit of a back and forth, and that was fun, and I will probably be doing that again here in the upcoming year. I'm sure because I'm subscribed to his channel too, so I think we can probably find something that he and I can discuss sometime in the future.
Cool beans. Badger.
Hello, everyone. I am Bad Timid Badger. I have a lovely, wholesome YouTube channel where I talk about lovely, wholesome badgery things. There is no debauchery whatsoever. There is nothing untoward going on my channel. But no, I talk about all sorts of stuff, culture, religion, occasionally politics, though I'm trying to avoid it mostly.
I thought you were going to say porn for a minute.
I'll get into that. Also, I also talk about science fiction and other fiction, especially Star Wars, and I'm doing nature videos and hopefully some more story reading. I do have some toad pornography as well.
Toad? Is that what I heard?
Yes, it's a nature video of two toads.
Are you calling it? Are you calling it Toads in the Hole?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I would, but unfortunately, that is a scientifically inaccurate depiction of toad mating. But I've got some stuff on my channel where I talk about things, and I'm hoping to do some more story readings as well and narration and stuff like that.
Cool.
All right, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Gab, Minds, BitChute, and Pornhub.
And don't forget your email.
Oh yes, and if you look in the chat, I am invited. Once I'm a little bit more sorted out in terms of my schedule, I will be inviting people to come on. Oh, one sec. I will be inviting people to come on my channel for discussions of, within reason, any topic they like. If they would like to contact me about that, they can email me at my official email address, which should now be appearing on the screen.
He really can't be trusted, can he?
But it's Badger. He's wholesome as fuck.
Yeah.
That is an actual working email address.
I'm sure it is.
It is. I arranged an entire debate with S.J. Thomason using that email address.
That's worthy right there.
She did not comment on it once.
Even better.
And Hitsy, anything you want to show?
Do you know what? I'm going to take the opportunity because I know you've all been busy. I've been seeing a lot of calls to help out Purple, so I'm going to chill that because I don't have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
I don't do things like that. So I'm going to chill Purple. I'm going to find the link and drop it in the chat. Purple, as far as I'm aware, I don't know much. Going through a very difficult time.
Dave's in the chat. Come on, Dave. You're the show man. You find Purple's link for people.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll give you.
You can't paste the links. Oh, you haven't given him mobs.
Yeah.
Give
Hold
credit, Spanner.
Yeah, I'm giving Dave a spanner. Hold on.
Also, Navadia needs a new camera, so again, go donate. When you donate, put it in the name of Ron.
And Dave has been spannered.
Oh, by the way, while I'm here, Neil should come on my channel sometime.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
Badger, you've got mail.
I do. Let's have a look.
And I'll track down the link for the relevant the relevant fundraisers and drop them in the description later.
Okay.
But and aside from that, sometime this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on if I actually get it filmed in time, I'll be talking about blasphemy on my channel.
Cool.
And then next weekend, we are talking about Harry Potter.
We are, that's right.
Fascinating.
Yep.
So that should be fun.
Harry Potter, we are not going to be talking about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
So just about the fiction.
Just about the
author.
fiction, not the bitch.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we are liberally and very harshly applying Barth's Death of the Author, which I will make sure Ringer's got a link to put in the description of that video so you can read the essay and know what that means if you don't already.
Did you get my reply?
I did. Thank you.
Oh, and at that, Blue Collar Heathen, do you have a tagline that you like to use?
Tag it easy.
And remember, don't choke on the indoctrination.
Or anything that Badger posts.
I would say mine, but I think the wind and the rain's about to blow my house away.
Oh, yeah, that the storm lasts about 6 or 7 hours and then goes away.
Yeah.
Although it seems to be coming back where I am.
Yeah, it's the rain has now started.
Well, in that case, then, bye.
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 Right?